Hey everybody, welcome back to Around the Emirates podcast with Sara Mousa, where I speak to guests from across UAE about topics you want to hear about. Today, I'm honored to be joined by Ryan Black, who is co-founder and CEO of SAMBAZON, which is a leading manufacturer of acai-based products. Hi, Ryan.
Hi, Sarah. Thanks for having me.
Thank you so much for joining me. I understand you're based in California, so I really appreciate you taking the time to be on the show with me today.
Yeah, no worries. Love the region, love going to the UAE and lots of happy people there eating acai bowls. So just love to be there and experience the culture and see what's trendy and be part of the food scene.
Awesome. Thank you so much for joining me today. So I'd love to hear all about your company and why acai, what it made you decide to start this company.
Yeah, sure. So it's been a minute. It's been 24 years since I was as as the story goes on a beach in Brazil to celebrate the Y2K millennium, and somebody handed me an acai bowl after a surf as sort of a local cool thing that people were into. And of course, I had never heard of it. No one had ever heard of it. It had never made it out of Brazil at that point in time. It was this sort of purple smoothie-like concoction in a bowl with fresh fruits and granola and crunchy texture stuff that was really exciting from a culinary perspective. Tastes really good, made your body feel real good because it was, refreshing. It was also quite light. And as I ate one, and then I ate another one, and then a few days later, and I ate another one, I really started getting interested in like what this stuff was, and what I found was that acai is a little berry that grows on a palm tree in the Amazon rainforest of Brazil. It's been consumed by local people, indigenous people there for centuries, but it was really only in the 1990s that some of the Brazilian jiu-jitsu fighters actually, who had family in the Amazon, wanted to bring it down to Rio de Janeiro where they lived to train with it, and in order to bring it down, they had to freeze it. And so it became this, what was an indigenous food, kind of eaten at room temperature with fish and meat and things like that, unsweetened, became this like almost like an ice cream dessert for breakfast and for lunch that they would eat before training, or after training, because acai has this remarkable concentration of healthy omega fats, antioxidants, fiber. So it's really nutritionally dense, and that's why they were training with it. But yet it's light on your stomach. And actually, it's interesting because later on, I heard that the royals of Abu Dhabi, actually, that's really famous for its jiu-jitsu tournament, had brought acai to Abu Dhabi in the early years. So it's actually been in the region for a long time, from the same way that I was introduced to it, sort of, which was through that jiu-jitsu, Brazilian jiu-jitsu community. Um, so anyways, as I, went a little bit further in the research of acai, I found that it grew in the wild in the Amazon rainforest. It wasn't some monocultured, cultivated crop, and because of that, it employs literally 1 million people in the Amazon rainforest who deal with it. So I was like, wow, you have this amazing product that's super nutritionally dense. It's delicious. No one has really ever heard of it, and it has the potential to make a really strong social and environmental impact on the Amazon rainforest. So I was hooked, and I, as they say, sort of, maxed out my credit cards and started a business.
That is amazing. I love the fact that you look for something that helps people. Like it's not something that's super carby or super unhealthy for people. It doesn't do damage, but instead it actually is tasty and it's healthy. And it's something that people will enjoy, especially in like hotter climates like the UAE. It's a perfect type of thing that you could do to cool off, right? And bringing something from one culture to another is probably one of the most difficult things you can do. And you managed to pull that off. I mean, there must have been a few challenges that came with that that you've overcome.
Yeah, most certainly. I think I think the biggest one really is just awareness, which is, of course, a challenge, but also it's an opportunity. It's kind of both sides of the coin, right? And what we found over the years is that as the awareness grows in a certain region, the size of the market grows, as you would expect. It's not something that's been around for 100 years or whatever, like I don't know, a pizza or something, and you're trying to get people that eat pizza once a week to eat it twice a week or so. It's not really like that. It's more like, Sarah, you know about it, so you eat it once a week, but nobody else in your neighborhood knows what it is. And then, next year 10 people know about it, and then the next year 50 people know about it. So it's been this awareness builder of different places in the world, as we have first starting with the United States, where I live, and then over time I've had the opportunity to share as we say, the delicious powers of acai with cultures all over the world. And let me tell you, it's not easy to change a culture. And I didn't maybe realize it at the beginning, and maybe that's the benefit of being a young entrepreneur. But it literally has taken a generation for people to absorb it into their culture, and now kids are growing up with it here in the United States. So I know it's working, but there's so many places in the world that still have no concept of it and are not, um, aware of it at all. So there's tons of opportunities still. And as we say, we with acai, we're spreading purple smiles around the world, because if you've ever had an acai bowl, you know that it makes you happy. So because it tastes so good and it's just yummy. So, anyways, our job has been for 24 years to spread the delicious powers of acai and create purple smiles around the world. So pretty lucky job to have.
I love that, and my favorite color is purple, so you're talking to the right, podcaster here.
Perfect.
That's an
Perfect.
amazing, that's an incredible, kind of milestone to have achieved in your professional life, is to be able to bring that something not just across generations, but across cultures. And that brings me to my next question. You must have experienced so much, like bringing something from Brazil to the world, being based in California, having something rise in popularity so quickly in the Middle East. What would you say is something unexpected or interesting or potentially funny that you've experienced in this process?
I was thinking about this earlier, but like, acai is like, you familiar with what an underdog is, right? It's something that like no one expects could, like in sports, the underdog's always the team that you don't expect to win, sort of thing. And to think that this little berry that is about the size of a blueberry, but it has a solid seed inside of it, almost like a marble. So you get a very, very, very small amount of it when you of yield when you take it off the tree. So it grows in the maybe in the remotest part of the world, in the Amazon rainforest. You get a very small yield of it. You have to climb a tree that is 10 meters high to get the berries. Yes, 10 meters high to get the berries. The berries are highly perishable. So once you pick it, it has to be processed and frozen within like 48 hours. Um, all those things are, big challenges for a product that you're trying to export to the world, of course. Um, but the funniest part of it, I think, the most interesting part, is it's really hard to pronounce. You can't even pronounce the word. There's so many things like against it. It's the underdog in so many ways, but the fact that it has made it to success is really just a testament of kind of the beauty of the product, the quality of the product, and I would say, of course, the team that we have assembled to really support it. But and other entrepreneurs as well, who have brought acai to their respective regions, and we're certainly not the only people in the world who have done that. Both Brazilians and non-Brazilians who have shared the magic powers of acai kind of around the world. I actually saw here in the United States, I saw a television program recently where they literally talked about um, the most difficult words to pronounce, like in America. and acai was like number one or number two. It's just phonetically
That's
people
so
don't get it.
bad.
So I mean, people just murder it from Akai to Asai to Asaya to just they just murder it. But the good news is, and I've heard this lately, I think we've kind of gotten over the hump as a culture in the last few years, and I hear it less and less and less mispronounced. So that's probably the funniest part of it. We actually did a video once where we asked people how to pronounce it, and it was pretty funny.
That's amazing. That's actually really, really funny, and I'm very grateful that you told me that story because now I will always remember how to pronounce this side. But I'd love to hear, Ryan, any kind of final words of wisdom that you have for listeners, especially those who are are looking to start their own business.
Yeah, no, I think, if you can start, for certainly for entrepreneurs that are thinking about starting a business, if you can start something that you believe in, then it doesn't feel like work. It feels like, if you can put some sort of a social or environmental um, mission behind the company, you don't really feel like you're going to work. You're excited about it every day, and it's very difficult, but just perseverance. It has its rewards at the end. I come from a sports background, and my coach used to always say, like, we make mistakes at full speed, and it's sort of like it's really good for an entrepreneur because if you're hesitant, if you're really not sure, you move a little bit slower. If you're bold and you make those decisions, maybe you make mistakes, but you learn that much faster and you keep going. They say that experience comes from either making mistakes or having like knowledge and wisdom. And I certainly, as an entrepreneur, and many entrepreneurs, they don't start with some like knowledge base, so you got to go out and make a lot of mistakes to learn. And so I would just encourage people to be bold and take a chance. And they say, like, the passion is in the risk, so go out and be passionate and start an awesome business.
Thank you so much for your time today, Ryan. I really enjoyed hearing all about your story and the beauty of bringing a kind of cross cultural product around the world. And it's been so inspiring hearing how you were able to co found this company and just have so much passion and drive behind it.
Awesome. Thank you for your time. Thanks for the opportunity. You can find Sambazon acai in your local supermarkets in the UAE and beyond in the region, um, like Spinneys and Troitrums and Carrefour. So hope to see you there. Thank you.
Awesome. Thanks, Ryan. Take care. Bye.